I now have the pleasure of introducing our treasurer, Teresa Donnelly. Treasurer Donnelly lives in Huron County and is a proud member of her association. She has made an extraordinary effort to reach out to every region with roundtable discussions despite the difficulties created by the pandemic. Please welcome Treasurer Donnelly.
Hi, everybody. It's good to see you, even though remotely. I wish we were in person, that we were at the Lamont Center, that we had enjoyed a dinner last night, but those things are just not to be now. And so here I am again, like I was in November, visiting you remotely. So I have some remarks I'm going to give. And I just encourage you, as you know, my email is treasurer@lso.ca. I'm happy for you to reach out to me. And I'm going to get started. So I am joining today from my home, as Bill said, in Huron County, which is located on the traditional lands of the Ojibwe Chippewa of the Anishinaabe group of Indigenous peoples. Huron County is on territory that is covered by Crown Treaty 29, number 29, known as the Huron Tract Purchase of 1827. As I said, if we weren't in a pandemic, we'd be meeting in Toronto, and Toronto is a Mohawk word that means where there are trees standing in the water. I'd like to acknowledge that it's on the traditional territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. And today we have people who are participating from across the province and from many First Nations territories. I'd like to recognize the long history of all the First Nations in Ontario and the Métis and Inuit peoples. We thank First Nations people who live in these lands for sharing them with us in peace. I'm happy to be here today. As Bill said, outreach is really important to me, and FOLA is a really important partner for the Law Society. We rely on you and your input as we move forward on our strategic priorities and initiatives as we regulate in the public interest. It's really important to me to meet with as many members as I can during my term as treasurer, and I'm going to come back to that at the end and tell you how you can assist me with that. I'm going to provide you with some updates on our work at the Law Society. And I'm going to start with the biggest impact on the Law Society and on lawyers and paralegals and students, which is the pandemic. So Law Society employees continue to work from home, but their work in support of each of your members, all lawyers and paralegals and licensing candidates and students across the province continues. The staff at the Law Society are professional, dedicated, and collegial. I commend them for a job well done. Excuse me. Hang on, I'm going to go on mute for a minute. Let's try that. We are especially indebted to CEO Diana Miles and her senior management executive for the work and just the endless hours that they've put in to make a seamless transition for all of us and for the public. So we've been working hard. We've developed over 70 resources to address issues arising during the pandemic. We have a COVID page that sets out the materials that we've created or updated. And since first being launched, the COVID-19 section of the website has had over 1.4 million views. So it really shows you the reach of the work that the Law Society's been doing. We've also continued through our practice management helpline to provide specific answers to specific questions when licensees contact us. And we've developed a series of complementary CPD programs to assist with the pandemic. Those are some of the things we did in support of members in terms of helping them with their practices. We also did some things more with the regulatory requirements. You will know that we reduced or removed the 6-hour maximum limit for CPD credit that applied to watching an archived program without a colleague teaching and professional writing. We deferred the withdrawal of annual fee payments for members on the monthly payment plan. We delayed administrative suspensions and late fees, and we approved an annual COVID-19 fee deferral option, enabling eligible licensees who've experienced a significant financial impact due to the pandemic to defer their 2021 annual fees. For licensing candidates, we transitioned from traditional in-person paper-based examinations to an online remote proctored delivery model. And so far, we've delivered 8,200 online paralegal and lawyer licensing examinations. We also moved to rolling administrative calls so that licensees could begin their professional careers. All of us in the professions during the pandemic have demonstrated our resiliency, our ingenuity, our innovation in responding to the pandemic. I'm going to turn now and talk about equality, diversity, and inclusion. And when I came on, Bill was just wrapping up speaking about that. Last year when I spoke to you and when I first spoke as treasurer, I referred to the impassioned cries for justice following fatal encounters between police forces and Black, Indigenous, and racialized individuals. Sadly, these matters remain as dire. As treasurer, I've had the privilege of connecting with many legal professionals who are Black, Indigenous, and people of color. They inspire me daily in the work I do as the head of the Law Society. Their perspectives and experiences have enriched my comprehension of the continuing impact of racism and colonialism on our institutions, including the institutions of our justice system. I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn and grow through my interactions with these remarkable lawyers and paralegals and students, and I hope that you have similar opportunities. I just want to turn now, I just want to turn from that and talk about some of the resources that the Law Society has to offer with respect to equality, diversity, and inclusion, because it's important for us to use our skills to build a better world and to be part of the solution to the challenges of inequality and racism. So we have a certified specialist program for leaders in Indigenous legal issues. As you know, a 1 hour EDI component of the professionalism hours of CPD. We have a toolkit that if you haven't checked out, it's online. I urge you to check it out. It's to assist in designing and delivering programs focused on advancing EDI in the legal professions. We have a guide for working with Indigenous peoples. And pretty much monthly, we hold an equity legal education series. It's virtual now. We hold it with our equity partners, and we hold really important, timely conversations. I urge you to share this with your members so that they can attend. They're accredited for CPD content, and they're free, they're virtual, so there's really no reason why members shouldn't be attending. And we've just seen a remarkable increase since we've gone virtual. 2,000 people attended Black History Month and the International Women's Day event, and 1,200 people attended the Holocaust Remembrance Day event. These are remarkable numbers when we compare them to previous years, and it reinforces the need to host these timely, impactful, and important conversations. I'm going to turn to mental health and wellness, and whenever you hear me speak, you're going to hear me speak about this as well. It's a priority for me. It's a priority for the Law Society. For the pandemic has amplified what are already challenges for lawyers and paralegals with mental health, addictions, and wellness. And I know that FOLA is focused on mental health and wellness, and that for 3 years you've participated in the month-long Bell Let's Talk awareness campaign, and that's fabulous. So together we need to ensure that the legal professions are healthy and supported so that we can do our important work. And your members need to know about the member assistance program. So please ensure lawyers, it's available not just to your members, it's available to lawyers, paralegals, law students, paralegal students, licensing candidates, and eligible family members. That's the member assistance program, or MAP. As you know, we share the funding with LawPro to fund Homewood to provide these professional, confidential, and independent services. And it's more than counseling. It includes peer-to-peer support, crisis management, online resources. It's really important to end the stigma associated with mental illness. That's why when I was looking at your agenda, I was thrilled to see that Beth Beatty is coming to speak to you this afternoon. She is co-chair. She's an advocate, an outstanding advocate. She's so courageous in coming forward and sharing her experience. I know that you will be inspired by the powerful talk she's going to give this afternoon. Beth and I are co-chairs at the Law Society's Mental Health Summit, which is being held next week, May 19th and 20th from 9 to 1 each day. It's going to have really important conversations. They're two different, they're not the same day duplicated. It's a total of 8 hours, and it's eligible for up to 8 hours of EDI professionalism. So far, over 3,200 people have registered, which is remarkable. Again, it tells us the need for these conversations. So I really encourage you to share this information about the summit with your members. The information and registration can be found on the Law Society store. So please share it. You're not alone. The members are not alone, and we need to come together, especially in these challenging times. I'm going to briefly just highlight some of the other things that we're doing to support members. They include the Coach Advisor Network, which if you don't know about it, please go online and learn about it at the Law Society on the Law Society's website. Coaching involves development of best skills and practice development, and advising assists with answering file-specific questions. I'm a huge believer in career-long learning. So I encourage you to promote this. And I know that you may have your own programs within your own organizations, but please, I encourage you to look to the website to learn more about CAN. Last year, we matched 654 coaches and advisors with members who needed help. And that was over 100 more than the previous year. I already spoke about our practice management helpline. It continues to provide ethical and practice management guidance. We also have a harassment and discrimination council for those who have experienced or witnessed discrimination on human rights grounds by a lawyer, paralegal, or licensing candidate. So it's anyone can use it, lawyers, paralegals, members of the public. It's free, it's confidential, and it really is a way, if you're being harassed or discriminated against, or your members are, to provide, to get assistance. We also, as you know, provide funding to Learn, which you know provides funding for the county libraries. You will know that the budget decreased annual fees, but that cost for lawyers and for paralegals. The decrease in fees for lawyers came at a cost. That amounted to the Law Society reducing the amount provided to Learn by 10%, which resulted, as I understand, to a corresponding decrease for local libraries. I know that many of you have expressed concern about the budget, reduced budget for Learn. Bill and I have regular conversations. This is always a topic. I want you to know that your concerns have been heard. I am also happy to hear further from you about that. I'm going to just turn and briefly talk about some matters that I think you should know about. In 2020, firm regulation, the Law Society Act was amended to permit firm regulation. And that firm regulation would recognize that the Law Society has traditionally regulated individuals. But when clients go to a firm, they see themselves as retaining, in the most cases, a firm, not an individual. We see that there are lots of benefits for firm regulation to the public, to clients, to licensees, and to firms. So stay tuned. We'll do some outreach when we move forward on this. We're not actively moving forward on it now, but I wanted to flag it for you as an area that we will be working on. I also want to flag the Competence Task Force. I struck the Competence Task Force to look at career-long competence because we hadn't looked at it for 20 years. And it seemed to me that what made a lawyer competent 20 years ago may not be what's going to make a lawyer competent today, in 2 years, or in 5 years, or in 10 years. So the task force, the Competence Task Force, is evaluating post-licensure competence. And we will also, and this is really important, be evaluating current Law Society programs and procedures, including things like CPD Learn. So we are going to be doing a consultation report, and it's really important that you respond to the report. The new contingency fees regime came in July 1st. We've been working hard on resources to assist the public and you. We have a frequently asked questions. We have a consumer guide. We're hosting a CPD on May 14th and June 9th about it. And for questions, you can also call the Practice Management Helpline. As you know, because we got a FOLA submission, we are working on the Family Legal Services Provider licensing model. I don't have a lot to update you about on that, other than we are continuing to work through the consultation submissions we've received, as well as the additional research we did with respect to surveys. Convocation in April launched a technology task force report, which launched the pilot project for innovative technological legal services. If you haven't read the report, please do. It's a 5-year pilot project, and it's really, it's important that you understand it, about what it means. And it's the first time we've gotten into regulation in this way with respect to innovative technological legal services. We will be establishing a round table, and we hope that FOLA will participate in that round table. We will also be setting up an expert advisory council. As I said, I encourage you to read the report, and more information is available on our website. I'm going to turn to one of the last things, and this is good news. And this is that we have our Law Society Awards coming up at the end of the month, May 26th. And at all times, but especially in these challenging times, the 2020 awards recipients inspire us to do better and to do more in service of the public. They give us optimism, hope, and light in a dark time. And FOLA's very own Eldon Horner is receiving the Law Society Medal for a career of achievements. So please join us to celebrate. So as Bill said at the beginning, I'm going to wrap up. I am committed to strengthening connections. So I invite you to book a meeting with me to come to your association, or we can group local associations. I'm going to the Toronto Law Association today. I've been to Middlesex, I've been to Huron, and we've joined a whole bunch together in the East. So I'm anxious to get out to the other areas to see you. So treasurer@lso.ca. I look forward to connecting with you. Thank you. Stay safe, stay well. Megwich, merci.